as Trump giving his account of what's going on, and like how you like to say, oh yeah, we've decimated majority of Iran's military and whatnot, right? And then you go on all these social medias, all these influencers are like, oh well, Iran did this, Iran did that. They're stronger than we think they are, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, what do I believe in? You know what I mean? Like, um, so a lot of circulating news says that you know, like they don't really. I don't think they take Trump's word for what it is, right? But I kind of do, right? Because I mean, for a long time they've never really took his words for what it is, right? They always try to be journalists or investigative or whatever, right? But they never take it for what it is, right? And then Trump, time and time again, he's like, "Look, I told you." You know what I mean? Like, I told you, right? And so, I mean, if we can't take his word for what it is, but he ends up always winning, he always gets to say, "I told you so," right? So that's what Um, that's where I'm just like, okay, should we just start listening to him? Just start listening to him. What's wrong? What's wrong listening to him? You know, I always have to go against the guy, right? But um, yeah. So let's look into the news a little bit, right? So BBC reported, right? Um, let's see. Let's go up here. Trump urges UK and other nations to send ships to help secure Strait of Hormuz after Iranian attack. Okay, so I mean, you read that headline, right? What is BBC trying to say, right? Well, Trump was trying to say, hey, look, we've decimated all of these what you call it, um, these a lot of the military or the power of Iran, right? But BBC, if you read that headline, it says um, Trump urges all these other countries, right, in the UK and the nation nearby, to send ships to secure the Strait of Hormuz after Iranian attacks. You know what I mean? Okay, two things can be true at once, right? Trump has decimated most of Iranians' troops, right? They don't have anything left, right? But so I don't like the news when it kind of like they don't come to the same conclusion, right? They always picturing something else from what Trump is saying, right? What Trump is saying is this: if you go to his True Social, let's go to his True Social. Yeah, I was reading a little bit. Okay, here we go. His True Social. This is his True Social. Okay. Okay. Let's read what it says. It says, "Hey, the United States of America has beaten and completely decimated Iran, both militarily, economically, in every other way, but the country of the world that receive oil through Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage, and we will help a lot. The U.S. will also coordinate with countries so that everything can go quickly, smoothly, and well. This should have always been team effort, and now it will be. It will bring the world together towards harmony, security, everlasting peace. President Donald Trump. You know what I mean? So that's what the guy's saying. You know what I mean? The guy just saying just that. You know what I mean? He's saying, hey, look, you know, it doesn't go against what the BBC is reporting, right? But if you just like, let's say you're partially against Trump, right? And then you read that and you're just like, hey, look, Iran's attacking, right? And you miss the whole point. The whole point is, look, Trump is acknowledging that the Strait of Hormuz, if you want to keep the oil flowing, the countries have to get together and protect it from being attacked with whatever armed, military defense that Iran have left. They're going to use it because if they destroy that, then guess what, right? We're handicapped again, and then we have to go back to their level, right? In you know in being being handicapped from having access to the world's oil, right? But he obviously stated, hey, look, we've already destroyed them militarily and economically, and in every other way, right? So if you think about that, right, I see that as like 80 to 90%, right? But they still got these little forces that's gonna just attack the lifeline of the world, right? So like it's almost like you're over here trying to kill the insects, right? And obviously you have the overpowering of of yourself, right? Because you're a force, right? And you got like 80 to 90%, but you got the little struggling ones still going at it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, right? Um, let's go on. Boom, 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 boom. What else he got? Let's go on to this one right here. Okay. I mean, this is before we go on to other things, but again, another one. Uh, let's see, another one. So it says many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempt closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America to keep the strait open and safe. We have already destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability, and it is easy for them to send a drone or two, drop a mine, or deliver a close-range missile somewhere along or in this waterway, no matter how badly defeated they are. Hopefully, China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK, and others that are affected by this artificial constraint will send ships to the area so that the Hormuz Strait or the Strait of Hormuz will no longer be. That's how you know he wrote it himself, right? Will no longer be a threat by a nation that has totally been decapitated. In the meantime, the United States will be bombing the hell out of the shoreline and continually shooting Iranian boats and ships out of the water one way or the other. We will soon get Hormuz Strait open, safe, and free. President Donald Trump. Okay? Okay, now let's go to BBC reporting. Alright. Oh man. Also, yeah, this this thing's a super live update. I just lost the other one. U.S. wants to leave Iraq. Uh, what's the one about Trump? Eh, yeah, this is like live, up to date reporting. I gotta find the one about Trump. All right, here we go. Trump called UK and other. Okay, so I mean, they take the same post, right, from his True Social, and they talk about the same thing. But their thing is, um, you know, uh, that what do you call it? Um, so here we go. I mean, obviously they're taking a bunch of different you know, different viewpoints, right? So they got Iran's representative in Geneva, Ali Bahrani, says Trump's claim about eliminating Tehran's capabilities are based on fabricated lies. You know, what I mean, and They use the word. He claims the U.S. has destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability, but says it's still easy for them to use drones, mines, and close-range missiles. In the meantime, he says the U.S. will be bombing the hell out of the shoreline and continue shooting Iranians' boats and ships out of the water. He adds many countries will be sending warships to keep the key shipping channels open and safe. I mean, yeah, they're picking and choosing what he says, right? Um, but and that's the thing, right? That's where I'm just like, okay, well, what's the truth, right? You know what I mean? Like, but the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure if you have a lot of like firepower and you're looking at a map and you're just like, okay, well, I mean, we bombed everything on the map. You know what I mean? At least 60%. Then you have at least 60% bombed, right? Unless everything's underground and they just keep like, coming out. They got a big old like shield underground. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and they got a like some sort of segue to open up their you know forces to come out whenever they want to come out. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's miles and miles and miles of terrain. You know what I mean? Like they don't have enough weapons to bomb everything, right? So it's just you know all I know is this, right? So if Trump says that he's getting his information from the Department of War, if the Department of War says it, um then it's it's you know what do you call that? They're getting it from from the data, right? The data. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, we use 60% of our missiles capacity already. I don't I don't know what else they can handle, right? But maybe that's the reason why you know they're maybe actively trying to put boots on the ground, right? Because they don't know either, right? No one knows this information, right? That's why I can't trust the news, right? Because I'm listening to all these influencers, right? And I'm not an influencer myself, you know what I mean? Um, or I'm pretty small time. No one really listen to me, but I'm listening, right? And they put their information like it's fact. I'm like, your information's not fact, bro. Like, because yeah, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, man, what do I know, anyways, man? It's just my 2 cents. Um, Let me know what you think. comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm just, you know, it's still early in the day. I don't want to start working yet, so I'm just over here. You know what I mean? Like reading, and I've set up my little setup here. So you know, hopefully I catch you guys on next time. Yeah, man, it's your boy. Follow me in Resillular, Resillular.com. It's my website. Check out my merch. You know what I mean? I had merch in days one before before all this stuff. Yeah, stay prepared. Stay prepared. Shop Camp Supply. You know what I mean? You always gotta stay prepared. You know. Basically, I sell a lot of like camping equipment and stuff. Because I mean that's the best way to stay prepared, right? You know, you always gotta have immediate shelter when you need it. You always gotta have your little gadgets and devices for survival needs. So that's why I created Shop Camp Supply. Stay prepared. You feel me? That's shopcampsupply.com. That's the website. And then I have a Shopify called campsupply.shop. Um, Go ahead and go check it out, man. And support me. And that's it. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure information is free, information is not blocked. You know what I mean? That's why on my own website I'll be uploading everything onto there just in case you get what you call it um, downgraded or whatever you call it, suppressed in any way. You feel me? But yeah. Other than that, man, y'all have a good day.